All right, family, here we are. I'm glad we're back together again for another update from the district. We're going to go live, and I'm going to have my team text me because my screen is looking very different than what it's looked like before. So let me know, team, if I'm on or not on, because I believe I'm on because it's recording. All right, so we are to Friday, Friday. The days can start to blur together when you're working from home. So yes, I know we're at the end of the week, but I believe it doesn't seem like it. It seems like we have a number of Mondays. Monday. Every day seems like a Monday. My production team here is coming to let me know as well that I'm good to go. Thank you, guys. This has been another busy week at MISD, and I want to thank you for tuning in to get the latest information and updates. And so let's start with academics. I want you to hang on, parents. I mean, like really, like grab something and hang on because help is on the way. Next week, we're going to be launching into phase 3 of our academic planning, which is bringing your teacher to you via the Google Classroom. You'll be able to see several items and several things. And one thing I do want you to do, I want you to be able to Google Classroom. I know I shared that before. That way you get a sense of what your kids are going to be walking into, and you're as prepared and as ready as, so what does that look like? And how do assignments get posted? And how does the teacher, respond? You'll see how that setup occurs. You can imagine what our 1,600 teachers have done to launch into this for our 27,000 kids. A daunting task, but I'm glad what they've done is ready to provide help. That's help to our first year homeschool teachers to provide some things along the way. But I want to be clear about a couple of things. Next week is a transition week. Transition week. It's the soft rollout. It's the ability to, in this week, during this time, to plan the platform that we're going to be utilizing to still be able to deliver instruction in a way that allows us to support the high-tech learning at its best. It's going to be messy. I already know this. It's going to be challenging. I already know it. I already know families that have multiple kids in the home and there's only one device. I already know the challenge of I'm working from home as well, and I've got to work with my student on top of that. Believe me, I know all the challenges, and it is not going to be easy. It will be a little messy, but I feel as we develop our momentum and pick up our speed, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, Midland. I know it. So it's a soft rollout into Google Classroom. Don't stress out if your kiddo is not set up on day one. Don't panic. Don't get a sense of parent competition. My neighbor's kid or my other kid, my friends, my cousin's kid is set up and we're not. Am I deficient in some way? You're not. You're going to be okay. I'm going to say it again. Next week is going to be a transition week. So be ready for what transitions mean. Transitions sometimes, as well as you prepare for everything, there's going to be some hiccup that's going to come along the way. And our job is during that phasing process to have steps below the phase that allows us to constantly refine and refine so we can get the work built out so your kids are getting a good deliverable. So this learning is going to be our next platform that allows us to push instruction out to you. And I appreciate our early adopters, great job, early adopters who have been utilizing the Google Classroom for your kids. So it's like, oh, this is a breeze. We don't have anything to worry about. I appreciate that. And those who are newly arriving to see, like, what button do I hit to turn this thing on? We got it all covered to provide you that support and help. Our teachers and our administrators have been very busy building the platform up so we can bring it out to you. So kudos to the team members from teaching and learning to our technology team. Mike Lloyd, shout out to you. Incredible individual who's done some phenomenal work to help set up this platform for us. If you recall, Mike Lloyd and his team did a great job with Tom Hawley, who's the executive director of technology, to bring you our board meeting virtually. Remember, we are still not grading during this time. I multiple conversations have come out time and time again on, I want a grade, I need to see it. I need a grade. I crave a grade. Please give me a grade. We're not going to be grading during this time. This time is built in for us to do performance monitoring. You'll see and hear that dialogue multiple times so that we can give your child the best feedback. Your teachers, your students' teachers will be providing what I call valuable feedback and help. We are calling this performance monitoring, which will be phase four. Phase four of the plan, there's been 4 stages to it, goes out into what we deem performance monitoring. That's so that your student can get individual feedback in regards to what's the work from this point forward that your child needs to know in order to be successful, not only in their current grade, but what's a spiraling element within the content that they need to know for the grades ahead that they're about to embark on. And those of you, I can hear you at home. I can hear it again. I think I heard it. I think I heard someone just say it. You know, I want grades. Let me have you rest and be certain that we are going to ensure that your child is moving forward and moving along and bringing you along the way. So our high performing parents, just take a breath and breathe. We're going to be all right. And we have to think through this because not everybody has the same playing field. Not everybody has the technology resources at home. Not everyone has the classroom that's optimal for a home life, for homeschooling. So we're gonna work through this together. As the classroom transitions into the home, I want to talk about equity in regards to what it looks like from the student who needs a device, who needs Wi-Fi, and there's no one home in order to provide that support. So as we push the teachers into the classroom that you can access anytime, 24/7, 7 days a week if you choose. We're not building it that way, but we're building it in a place where you can draw into learning when you are and your student are ready to tackle and jump into what that learning looks like. The classroom environment is what we're determining is going to be the measuring stick for what we progress and how we move forward. So what is Google Classroom? It's a way for students to log into a space and access their teacher's lessons anytime, anywhere, and on any device. Again, anytime, anywhere, and on any device. Some teachers will set up a routine, which helps in regards to establishing what that could look like for you. You may have a learner who at that point in time can't access the resources at home because someone is hogging them, like I am right now. Or you can say, hey, maybe it's an evening activity that we can do at a point in time where we're ready. But I will tell you, it's an opportunity for us to really push learning on its head, to design what learning could look like for our students. We've been waiting for this, and I've been waiting for this for a very long time. Our kids are going to get an opportunity to progress and for us to monitor them when they're ready to tackle and dive into the learning. And what I mean the time of day. No one says learning has to start at 8 and has to end at 4 p.m. So start at 8 a.m., 4 p.m., that's the only time learning is going to happen. Can't be the case. Our kids learn in a variety of ways throughout the day, and we want to make that happen for you. So lessons are available 24/7. So mom, if you need a computer from 9 to 5, because we have some parents who are working at home, and it's like, well, I'm not going to give you my resource right now. This is mine. So if that's the case, it's okay. Because I will tell you that your student can log into Google Classroom. Might not be optimal at 6, but it's all dependent upon the learning and the tools that you have. It's like a class that you have. It's not like a class that you have to report to. You have to sit there. That's the industrial style of learning. We put you in a row, still the same rows that you were in, parents, that I was in. It's a design of a classroom that's cloud, that's out there, and it's flexible in regards to its modification. That's what we should be looking at. That is what 21st century learning is, an opportunity for us to bring into our community and expose ourselves to what that's like. Along with this, teachers are setting up office hours. Some of you have those currently right now, and you find that that's the time that you want to schedule out for people to contact you. So students, parents, there's office hours available for you to say, hey, listen, I'm struggling right here. And as opposed to you giving me feedback that's written, that's a phone call saying, Orlando, got a question for you. You can then go into the office hours, and you parent together with your student can reach out to the teacher. I think it's a valuable opportunity for us to connect in regards to the performance monitoring and feedback. Because I think the feedback loop is a sensational opportunity for us to help drive what learning could look like. And this is certainly a period of time where kids can log in and call and talk to their teacher in real time. And real time feedback, we call just in time, is seen as the best way in order to turn things. That's why I appreciate coaches, football coaches, especially. I'm a former football player, football coach, football referee, so I've used that as an analogy many times. But across the board in athletics, it's what our coaches do. It's what our band instructors do. It's just in time, real feedback. When you make the mistake, we can correct it immediately and get you back on track. So this gives us time for what I call rich feedback. It's the texture of it. You can feel it, you can taste it. It allows us for us to push what it can do for our kiddos. It allows us to make what is the next level of learning optimal and getting as close as we can to the classroom. We'll never be 100% while we're away, but it's the next level of what can be optimal for a home and establishing what that could look like. So listen, I will just share. Maybe it's here later that I'll speak to, that I was recently reading. It is an article, and a parent was struggling, right? Both her and her husband. Great that there's two parents in the home. I think it's awesome, but that's not the case in the playing field that we deal with. Both were working from home 9 to 5. They had their own Zoom meetings to schedule into, so they had to huddle into a quiet place. They have their littles who are trying to navigate the learning, and the parent was like, this is like stressful. Everybody's, we're yelling at each other. Be quiet. Sit down. Don't you have work to do? And the household can become a chaotic environment. All I ask is that you just breathe. We're going to get through this together. This is not, the compliant police who's coming down to say, you've got to do this and you've got to do it right now. You've got to make this happen. That's not going to be the case. We're going to get through this moving along together so we can know where your student is academically, because it's still my expectation that we deliver what is a promise to our community from the time that I arrive, that we are going to ensure that we deliver quality academics in a great environment to your student. So guess what? If you're watching this, you have a tool, a tech tool, whether it's your phone, whether it's your laptop, whether it's your tablet, whether it's your desktop, a way to draw in learning. And so here's an opportunity for us to utilize what are multiple tools in order to get this done. I just find it incredible how when I can go out to a restaurant and see little ones at the table navigating devices. May not be the optimal time, but I think it's a way in life that we're in right now where we're sharing that despite the conversation that can occur, the learning that can be simultaneously, kids are navigating the smallest of devices for learning. Here's an opportunity to explore what that could look like as well, because our kids are utilizing it. Our big ones are utilizing it, and I believe many times it's attached to their hand, and you can't pry it loose. And just want everybody to know that for our families who have none or don't have enough, because one device in a home, when I've got multiple kids in the home and trying to service them this way, we're working through that. And we've got a plan, and we're implementing that plan into next week. And so your schools know who you are. We've asked who you are. There's been a phone call that's come to say, who are you? So that we can know how to prepare devices and get them set up for delivery for you. So we have our teams ready to do what would be almost similar to our food pickup, which is a drive-through where you can come and collect your meals. We'll have our academic resources set up similarly, where if you shared with your campus that you needed a device, that device will be prepared and ready for you in regards to getting it home. We're holding everyone accountable because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars of devices and tools that are going outside of our element. It's this learning in the 21st century is an entirely trust negotiation in regards to you're going to get a tool that's very valuable. Take care of it, please. Utilize it in a very good way. Do all the right things with the tool so that when it comes back into the building, it's accessible and we're able to utilize it for the next group who may need that. Another thing that we're getting, and you heard me share with the article that I read in the New York Times from a parent who was just struggling through what is now homeschool life and work life, and everybody coexisting in their environment, in their work environment, whether it be your 9 to 5 paid work environment or your 9 to 5 academic environment, that it is a challenge. And with that, we've got to provide, which we're doing currently right now, mental health resources. We talked about that last time. Yesterday, we stood up the opportunity from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. that we have our counselors on board for families to dial into and get support and help. And it's very valuable in a time where it's just so stir crazy, right? That we're just like going, like what's happening? Give me my computer, get quiet. That we have all those things occurring, that we need to provide what are those mental health resources for families who are struggling through this whole thing. The idea of isolation and how do I conquer the opportunity of the socialization that we're so used to. We bring thousands and thousands of kids into a building, into the social aspect, whether you're ready and you're an introvert and you're nervous, to those who are just talking 100 miles an hour. And we say, okay, now all that doesn't exist for everyone. You're now in your home environment. And that can be a challenge for many of our kids and many of our parents. So we've stood up a way for you to get the resources that you need and information, and then get directed to even more resources. And I'll share with you here in a moment where that is. But I just want to say, all the things that we're doing, it's messy. The job of my team is to ensure that we can eliminate as much mess as possible to try to get a semblance of normalcy in a new normal that we're in right now. Mental health is so important, and for your kids who are struggling. I worry about kids who may be in homes that have so much noise that are coming out because the parental relationship, the student to adult relationship, it's strained. And now we're telling kids it's time for you to learn algebra with all that occurring and all that happening. And so, want to let you know that our counselors are there and have a support line. Our website contains this information. There are resources for parents. If you click on that link, it will take you to what are the resources that are available for you to help navigate this new experience. So you can speak with our counselors from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can reach them at, here's the number. And some of you need to write the number down right now. I think I need to get where's my pen? I need to call somebody right now. 432-240-1439. I'll give it out to you again. 432-240-1439. If you didn't catch that, go to our website, go to the COVID-19 page. On the main page, you can just click on it. It'll take you there automatically, one click away from getting help if you need it. Now you say, well, what about Saturday and Sunday? What happens if problems don't stop at 7 p.m.? Problems persist and continue. You've got that built in, and we've got an incredible community partner who's called Permia Care, whose counselors are available 24/7. And there's an opportunity as well, if you're in a struggle, if you know someone who's in a struggle, where you can direct them, hold them in regards to getting to that help. That number, 7 days a week, can be reached as well. And that number is going to be 844-420-3962. I'm going to give it to you again, 844-420-3962. And that service, it's free. Just call. And what we want to do is, just if you need help, just go seek it out. It is there. There is no problem or no struggle that we can't get through. And I need you to, as parents and students, to do that outreach. Everyone's struggle is different. Everyone's mental health is different. But we have the capability to bring you back, to get you to that gift that you're designed to get to help our world and get us to be a better place and find new cures for things that we are not yet tested with, because those tests are coming. So allow us to be able to provide that support and that help and make that happen for you. Going to go ahead and jump into questions and answers. So let me scroll through a few things and see what we might have. And thank you for those who are replying to those who are online. And I really appreciate that support. And teachers, if you're out there, kudos to you guys. You guys are on fire. You guys are on fire making it happen. So keep that work up. You guys are doing it, our community an amazing service by saying we can do this and we can do it together. And this is the how. It's a refresh. It's a reboot to the entire profession for teachers. I'm with you, Chrissy, Mike Lloyd. I love him. I mean, I love him in a, not in the love way, but I love what he does, and I love him as a person. He's a great person, and his sense of humor is just off the charts. He can get me going a number of times. uh, you've got us and we've got you. I would tell you that the other day I was like this with my own kid. I was like, really? I was like, come on, kid. You can't you like, you know, do this in a quiet way when I hear him, in a chat or a conversation. The other day, the vacuum cleaner was going, the dishwasher was going, the washing machine was going, and I'm trying to connect into a Zoom meeting. It can get hairy a number of times, and there's even patience from the superintendent that I have to have in my own home environment as we work through this. Yeah, that's work that we have to do, Josie. Josie coming from Facebook, sharing that we're getting grades. What's happening, and so some people were what I call the early adopters, and they went out to say we're going to meet this challenge and we're going to go down this pathway. Their principal is working with them to share that during this time period, here's the framework that we're moving on. We do have 9 weeks worth of grades already in the bank. I call it the academic bank, and we have that right now from the time that we stopped and went into closure, spring break, and then went into closure. We've got 9 weeks of grades that we have in the bank. Now it's about how do we create this disparity around teachers who might say, well, you didn't turn this assignment in, it's a zero. And what does that penalty look like going forward, especially with a student who has not connected in to what this could look like in the environment that they're coming from or the environment that they exist within. That's the messy part. Yes. So Amanda has a good question or statement out here, and it goes about it's some are not worried for the elementary. I work with the elementary, but I only say this only because that's the foundation and the footprint going forward. So keep your elementary student engaged. But her worry goes for the high school students who are in AP classes. It's been built out. The AP exam is going to come to you in your home. Your teachers are designed to know that the test is going to change because the test did not cover the entire year. So AP instructors from around the country are coming together to redesign what that test looks like. So it only tests what you've covered. Teachers will step into what that covering would look like and provide what is that rich resource that comes forward. It might be some of it's going to be challenging. I'm a former English teacher, and I expect you to read. I expect you to write. I expect you to hit the expectations that I've designed for you to progress forward in a very high way. So there's going to be some work that we're going to have to do through it all. It's the grading aspect that we've got to think through because grades aren't the only way that you provide feedback. As a former coach and a player, someone didn't come out there and say, "Oh, you're an F today. So what are you going to do about it?" It was, "Let's go through this again. Let's go through this again, and let's see can I get you to the level of mastery that you need to be at in order to successfully launch what this work looks like from the expectation I have that you deliver from the time that we call game time." And oh yeah, Eric, I'm with you. Learning is everywhere. I would tell my kids, how many. Let's count trees and let's look at the license plates when we're traveling and what words can you think of and give me 10 words that start with the letter L and what are you seeing and explain to me. And my kids come home, I would share with them, typical big kids, how's your day? And they would say it was good, and they're ready to walk away and think that that's the end of the conversation. I'm like, oh, hold on a minute, what was good about it? And then they'd have to, I press them for more because I want them to know that learning is constant. Learning is a piece that you have to work on. And I'll tell you another story about one of my sons was he came in, and I'm a former English teacher, and articulation around some things is very important to me. And so he came in with some language that was not articulated very well. And I said, well, if you're gonna continue to talk like that when you're in my presence, there's going to be an expectation I have. So please don't do that. You can save that for your friends. But when you're engaged in a conversation with me, here's what I expect. And if you can't do that, I need to know that at least you know how. And so here's the challenge I'm going to put in front of you if you can't. And again, he went about doing it again. And I said, okay, well, we've got a library full of books. I said, I'm just going to grab any random book. I'm going to open up to a chapter you'll complete and read the chapter out loud to me so I know you know how to speak well. So learning is an all around piece. Whether you're cooking and challenging on a bake off between recipes that two littles are making or a big one's making, the type of ingredients that are going in, the spelling of the ingredients, why the ingredient, where the ingredient come from, it is all around us all the time. And that's what we want. We want our kids to be well-rounded in that form or fashion. Let me just go to a few more of these. Lori, I'm looking at yours. It's a little long, so just give me a minute. So the piece is, which I've heard from some parents, that, well, it's new work, and I don't know, how to address it and how to do it. So help is on the way. Every subject has content that you need to know in this subject in order to be able to advance. So the goal is not to press up what is new work and new learning, but it is, these are the things you need to know in regards to being a good mathematician, whether you're going to be a good writer, a good scientist, a historian. These are things you need to know and embedded. So how do we keep this at the forefront of what that learning looks like to you? So I would say, yes, some of it's going to seem new and some of it's not. Some of it's going to be a repeat and a spiral of information, but there's help. What we're planning on is adding to our website a platform for parents to be able to get help. Told you about a website before. It's called Wolf Ram Alpha, and it's like Wolf, Wolf Ram Alpha, a plethora of resources to help you. So again, if you've not been in Algebra 1 for a very long time and your son or daughter comes up to you with Algebra 1 questions, or it's fourth grade math, because I challenge some of you to go and look at the fourth grade math that our kids are learning. It is not similar to the fourth grade math that you may have been doing 20 or 30 years ago. It is elevated in a very big way. Look at the resources that are there to help you navigate what that looks like. Yeah, Martha, her question or her statement is, I can tell you that there are many kids out there that, and I qualify what many means. We got 27,000. And so one can consider to be many, or 2,000 can be many. But I would tell you that, well, many is plural, so it's more than one. But I would share with you that, yes, we have students that are hard to reach, even when we're in the optimal scenario, meaning we have class, it's open, the building's open. We welcome every student who comes to our door. It's a challenge. So now think about meeting the next challenge, which is we're closed. You've not come and engaged, and now we've got to get you back and re-engage from the parent standpoint all the way to the student. Some of that I find is a challenge because becomes more of a parent challenge than a student challenge. The 4-year-old or the fourth grader is not answering the phone, answering the door, or driving themselves to school. And so that's a very big support component that we need in regards to outreach. So if you know students who have not engaged, and your statement was many, if you know of any of those students, look to engage their parents around the resources that are available and the help that's out there. Our administrators and our teachers are calling. There are letters that are going home. We have an opportunity to potentially even knock on doors so that we can leave information at the doorstep. But it's still going to be a challenge that we may not reach 100% of our student body or our parents, because even on good days, that's not the case. So we're creating what could be the optimal resource to tap into, how to get people in our community the information to help their student get to the learning. But I tell you, at some point in time, parents are going to get tired of their kids on YouTube, watching videos, playing Xbox or PlayStation, and want to engage them further. But I would tell you also, in our community, for some parents, that's okay. And we have to meet what that challenge is. If we expect best and better for our kids, we've got to push the envelope around what that is. Let me see, Erica. Ooh, it just flew by me. I'm sorry, Erica. I was about to get to you and it flew by. But she had a statement about stress, and I want to tell you, you just got to breathe through this. The goal is not to be the super parent and the super administrator and the super teacher at this point, to say that you got to have every color in the box. I'm going to get you the 54 count of colors. I actually wanted the 100 with the eraser in it, excuse me, the sharpener in it. You got to have all your map colors and your map pencils, and you need a ruler and a scissors, and we need to set up a class. Don't stress. Don't stress. We're not in the optimal scenario of what that looks like of walking into a classroom. You can see now the difficulty that even going into the classroom, the challenge of what that might look like and mean, where kids are coming in at 5 years old and some know their numbers, their colors, their phone number. their letters and words, and they're ready to write sentences, and they're ready to engage in single digit or single column math. We go from that disparity to a student who has none of that and trying to navigate all those resources. What I tell you to do is just breathe and relax. This is not a competition amongst parents that, oh, well, my student is doing this. And what's your student doing? Because I've been there. I want to brag on our kids. We want to tell people, hey, my kid's a smart kid. And I want everybody to know my kid's a smart kid. But I would tell you, just breathe. It's going to be okay. We have kids with learning styles that are different. We have kids who meet challenges that are coming forward, and we want to be able to, to be certain that during this time period, we want to set up a platform that allows us to be able to enrich a student's life in a learning way. You do not have to be super parent right now or super teacher. If you were one of those, I want you working for me. But many of you don't work for me. So what I need you to do is just breathe. It's going to be okay. Just because you get something doesn't mean you got to complete everything. That's why we've got to work with our teachers as well. And we've been doing this for 3 weeks now to work with our teachers as well. To breathe and don't press like it's the classroom that the kids have now come to you and you nail them with all this information. Let's walk everybody through this in a good way. Let me see, Danielle, if I can get to you real quick. Yeah, and Danielle just shares that she's hearing, hey, kids are getting connected with their teachers, and I've not heard a thing. And so that's the work that we have to do to be sure that we're making that connection around that. And that's the messy part. And let me first shout out an apology around that, because every student should be connected to their teacher in some shape or form or fashion if we're going to be able to move this entire work along the way. And we have 1,600 teachers who the expectation is reach out to your student, make that connection, let them know that this work is on the way. If they're not plugging into you, I would not stop. I'm going to go kick the door down. I'm going to email the principal and say, I've not heard from, my fourth grade or my high school, my 10th grade teacher. What do I need to do to reach out? Teachers have email. You can just go to the website, pull up the teacher's email and say, I've not heard. I just want to be sure that we're on point for the start of what we're about to go with on this journey. We've got work to do. You can see it. This is not easy. It is messy, carrying this all through for our entire community. So someone shares, why is it taking so long? Kendra, why is it taking so long? Well, it's been 3 weeks to turn an entire 21st century learning to 27,000 students. I can't tell you what long is for you, but I know that one of the things for me is we've done in a week to flip week to week what we want to bring out. First week was food. That was our goal. So that's week one. Week two was let's now start the academic planning for our team. Week three was let's now get the realign and retool how that planning was delivered in that format. And week three, phase three, is now let's push out how can we get your teacher into the classroom. That does not happen in a time frame where you hear other comments about, well, I haven't heard, I haven't seen. We still need to reach kids. It takes a moment to get some things going, as large as the system as we are. But I will tell you, we'll get there. And I will tell you, I applaud the teachers who are doing everything and then some to make that happen. And Kendra, what I would share, if you've not heard anything, my thing is, you know who their teachers are. Reach out to their teachers and say, I just want to be sure that I'm hearing these things in regards to either the phone rang or an email was sent. All your kids have email. How are they reaching out and connecting to my student? I would certainly reach out, because Midland High has an incredible leader, and I guarantee she set the expectation that teachers reach out to their kids. Thank you for shout out to Alamo. And all his teachers reach out. So Gerald, you are my point that we do have teachers who are doing a phenomenal job of making that happen. And we've got to reset others, because let me tell you, noise is not just in your life at home. Noise is in the life of everyone around our community, and teachers included. Don't think that just because they teach that there's not things going on in their environment where they need support and help. So I would just share, some grace and patience. It's going to be messy, But we can get through this. Teachers have kids, and teachers are working what that looks like, and they're trying to do their work as well. And teachers have families, and teachers go through struggles, and teachers need help and support as well. All that's coming. The system is not perfect. There's not one that I know that is. If you do know one, please let me know, because I will show you that there's some challenges that I would maybe see if you've looked into. Abby, mindfulness is an important part. That goes to the centering of a point. So you're talking about some of the resources I want parents to have in regards to how do you kind of dissipate some of that noise. So mindfulness is an ability to kind of center yourself in a way to prepare for what's about to come on. We have that embedded in several of our schools with our kiddos. So if your kiddo is already doing mindfulness pieces in the school, I would share, let's continue what that practice is. How do you kind of admit what that stress levels are that are coming up for your student, and how do you get that built in? So you'll see as part of the resources for parents, what does it mean to jump into mindfulness? What is Khan Academy? What is Wolfram Alpha? What is TeacherTube? Things that you can go to help provide you what some of that support looks like. Look, let me just share it. I am not asking you to replicate what we do in our building. You can see walk into classes that are phenomenal, that are resource rich, that have supports in the classroom that are designed to help a student get to their maximum. What I'm asking you to do is, can you support your student in their learning right now until we can get back to that time? So Jana saying, I did read and are thinking about going back in July. Not sure where you read that, because I haven't said it and no one's told me. But if you know something I don't, please let me know. We don't have a time frame around this, and what this disastrous virus is going to do to our country and to our state and to our community. I know our hospital leaders are doing an incredible job around attacking this. We'll come back when the time is right for us to come back. And at that point in time, we'll begin to address what all that looks like. If that's the question, it was more of a statement. I didn't see the question. And so what I would share is that, what does that look like as we push forward? And I don't know what's, people are like, well, what about summer school? Someone said that we're going to summer school. I would just share, some people know, or maybe think they know more than what I do. And if you have the answers, I'm helping, and I'm not embarrassed to say I won't take those on. I know that we're going to have to do some enrichment, and I don't know what that looks like, because right now I'm hearing from parents, and I'm hearing someone advocate for parents, because it might be you personally, or it might be something that you heard, a perception that you might have, or your reality, that we still have work to do within our phasing model right now. Hey, kudos to the dad who's out there running with his kiddos, and he's running with them and making them run. Go, dad, go make it happen. I love it. Social distancing, please. And shout out to Scarborough Elementary, an amazing leader there, and Deanna Flouder. Uh, I will share that, an able junior high teachers, I'm hearing, hey, they've done it, been outstanding. And that's, hey, dad, don't stop running. That's been the key around making this all happen. And thank you for those who are replying and getting resources out around that. Um, And you're right. That was an opinion that was written in the MRT. And what I share is, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We know who's going to need support, and what does that look like. And when you've been gone, let's look at this. Let's just call it half of March. So let's go half of March to half of April, half of April to half of May, May to June, June to July, July to August. So with that, we're talking potentially what could be 5 months. We got to think through, we cannot let kids get further behind. What we're engaging in right now, which is not optimal, which is at home, and some of you guys are doing an incredible job with what home learning looks like. Some of us are struggling all the way through it, is we cannot let this allow us to allow kids to get further and further behind. This digital divide and 21st century learning, it will do that to an entire community. So we've got to figure out, how do we stand together? How do we make this work happen? How do we bring it about so that we can ensure that when you come back, we can hit start and not be at a crawl, but maybe it's a slow walk. Graduating seniors, we've been working, Nikki, with graduating seniors. So you're going to our high school principals and their administrative leaders and the central office leaders that who support high school. Shout out to Jeff Horner and his team for what they've done to come up with planning for graduating seniors. So we've gone from what is this rite of passage of graduation and walked backwards through who are the kids who cannot or may not hit that point. Like I've said, if you've done all the right things, you are on easy street. Dive into the work, get to that end point. If you have not done all the right things, there's some work that has to get done because you're going to see your peers leave without you, and so there's some work that has to get brought into it. That's about GPA. That's about the rank, who's number one, number two, and so on. So again, there's going to be a class of 2020 FAQ, frequently asked questions, that we're able to allow parents and seniors to dive into. It's my expectation if you are a senior and you have skipped some juncture of academics along the way, we're going to be calling you because we need to let you know what you need to do to remedy that fact. If you've done all the right things, whether it's at the highest level or at the standard, stay the course. It's all I ask, to stay the course. But you can see our graduation rate. Our graduation rate is in the mid 90s. So even with our graduation rate in the mid 90s, when we're most optimal, we have kids who are not meeting the threshold. So you can imagine now we go to a closure and we're delivering home instruction, how we have to stay caught up with the feedback along the way. Our team is working on that. It's something, it's not like our team is stopped along all the other processes that we need to navigate in order to ensure that our kids are getting what is best in regards to meeting the threshold or getting to the line so that they can go to their next part of next chapter for them. Okay, just scrolling through and trying to catch a few others, and thank you for those guys who are coming on board and shouting out and doing replies. Uh, oh, see, here's the thing. I have one parent, thank you, Lizzie, a shout out to Goddard and Midland Freshman, and I have another parent saying, well, no one from Midland Freshman's called me. Again, as a parent who wants to activate, what are those things? Kick the door down. Email your teachers, email your principal, and ask the questions I've not heard. And they may share, oh, we sent it to this number, and that may not be the right number that we have on file. Because as we ask for you to give us information, we're only utilizing the information that you've given us. If there was a digit that's changed, if there was an address that's changed, if you've done something that's different, we're accessing the information that you've given us year over year and have carried that through. And if you have not updated information on your kiddos, and we're pulling that information year over the year, and you're not updating it as it goes and populates the forms, and as we're going to online registration, that's what we're calling. And so my thing is, if you've not heard anything by now, I would be reaching out to find out the why. Right. We ended, this is a question, not question, but a statement from LaTwan. We ended at the time where we got to spring break, we reached spring break, was the third week of the fifth 6 weeks. So we're going to be sending out some progress information. So if you're on Family Access, and if you don't know what Family Access is, please, people, respond about Family Access and let's get that resource out there. Family Access is a way to check your child every day. I mean, like, check them, like, I got you. And I know what's happening in the school. I know it by every assignment. I know it by every day, whether you are late to class, whether you went to class, and what grade you have in a class. You can set it to ping you if a grade in a class drops below a certain level. The challenge is, I'm challenging my student, this could be you, to an 85. And if that grade in that class is below that, you're getting notification. We are pushing out a lot of information for you to find out where you are. I call it your academic bank. It's your bank statement. It's a way to check your bank statement so that you can ensure that where my child sits. So if you have questions about what's my senior, and they don't talk to me and they don't show me grades, but every 6 weeks, or I only get information every 9 weeks, You can get information every day if you choose to check your account every single day. My production staff is coming in here to tell me I need to talk about something really quick. Right. And let me share something with you. If your kid is on a Xbox or PS4, I would challenge you. You have access to the internet and you can turn that device into a learning device and then set up when's the Xbox time. Because I've got some gamers who are out there around that. So there are a multitude of devices that you can reach out to. And if you do not have internet service, because that could be a challenge, we have that resource for you on the resource links. There are service providers here in our community that will give you 60 days free internet so that you can access the tools that are coming before you. So there's that opportunity for you to seek out if it's one that you choose. After 60 days, or if this goes longer, I'm not sure where they will be at that point in time, but right now they've set out their 60 days and we list who those providers are on our website. You can call them, reach out to them and see if that's an opportunity. Yep, another shout out to Midland Freshmen. Thank you guys for supporting Midland Freshmen and that team. Oh, here's one. And Shelby, I'm with you. Her concern is that she has a high achieving straight A student. And kudos to you because that is just not the student. There's a lot of work that's been done within the family to make that happen. But both were sitting at a couple of B's, right? And so as we left at that point in time of the middle of a 6 weeks, they may have had a B at that point in time. The expectation that they would have an opportunity to bring grades up to see. So one of the things that I'm talking to the team about is as we progress on how we set up what's present and moving forward, what's going back to take care of things that can I fix something that's going back? And that's going to be a challenge to go back and to go forward. So we're working that at the top and then working it all the way down to potentially see what that could look like. So starting with our seniors to see what did you not get turned in and what does that look like and how can we get that recovered, and as opposed to I made an 85 on an assignment and I want to make a 95 and can I redo that assignment, or again give me a grade, please give me a grade. We got to work through what all that looks like because the divide is wide and the ability to go back and recover things and then go forward is going to be a challenge. So let's see if we can take one step at a time and see where we progress moving forward. But kudos to you for your students having an A and even having a B. I will tell you that that's noteworthy as well. And I know that the A is like the pinnacle, but I would tell you getting the information for what you're learning and where you're at and progressing forward. Shout out to you guys for the work that you've done there. General Franks, absolutely. Another shout out for General Franks. Keep getting some article pieces that came out today, which was an opinion piece, and everybody has one. And I would share that, yes, that was, and we'll see where we get to at that point in time. Yeah, Lynette, woo, shout out to you. Right now, 11th graders, if you are thinking about, which I wish many of you were, about colleges, I've shared with our team, how can we provide virtual college tours that kids can be able to take and they can plug in and tap into? So I'm pressing my team hard. And what kind of virtual field trips can kids take of the Smithsonian and of gorillas in the jungle? I mean, I am pressing my team to say, we need these resources plugged in. And I would say, yep, you're on the right track. So kiddos who are getting ready to launch into their senior year, the FAFSA, the Financial Aid Free Application Program, is available in October now. So our juniors need to be getting themselves geared up and ready to meet that challenge. So as you're addressing what your current work is, what is the next level for where you want to go? So good job thinking through what that could look like and tackling that. And chatting with your student to see what do they like, what do they want to do? Do they want to be on an island? Do they want to be in a mountain, in a desert, in a forest? Where do they feel like school is a place or a destination for them? And what do they love and enjoy doing and trekking through that? Yep, I will tell you. Lindy says Midland Academy Charter has systems in place and going strong. Kudos to them. I think it's an incredible opportunity if someone chooses that they want to go to Midland Academy. We're doing it for 27,000 students, 42 different languages. different learning styles, and so it's a challenge. And so we're working through that. But kudos to those who have set it up, and kids are in the learning mode and progressing forward. It's an environment that parents get to choose. I'm glad that they've chosen it. For those who are with us, the goal is that it's about taking everyone on this journey. Yep. Shout out to Mrs. Carter from Jones Leap, doing an incredible job. And I love when I see those little kiddos in our Leap program, which is a program designed for kids with learning needs and our teacher students who are age 3, who are learning together in an environment. It talks about solidarity. It talks about service. It talks about differences. It talks about coming together. And little kids don't see any of those things. It's amazing when they come together and in a thriving environment like that. So appreciate the shout outs. Continue that. I'm telling you, when you see someone in an MISD truck, honk at them and wave. I mean, let them know that you care, because I think it's an incredible thing to see what's happening around the work that we're doing. If you have a teacher who you've not connected with and they've delivered for you, send them an email. Let them know I appreciate the way that you've delivered in regards to making it happen for my student during this time. If you have someone who's done that, reach back and then go forward. You're going to get this from my student, and I appreciate all that you're going to help my student with, because you'll have them next year. And I've heard amazing things from you, and I appreciate you staying in the profession like that. Yep, I'll tell you, Angelica, she's saying, look, my my man works for the district and he has been on the phone. So I know he's getting stuff done. So thank you for that, because our teachers are dialing in and calling, and we're giving the resources so that they can make that call and feel comfortable from their device, their personal device, making that call while they're on duty at home. So kudos to your man for doing that work, because that says a lot. So thank you for that. All right, let me just get through a few more. I've gone a little long today, and that happens. My team always says, "Mr. Ray, be quiet." At least they may not say it, but I know they're thinking it. And so I've gone a little long today, and I apologize for that. For one, getting on a few minutes late because little technical pieces that my production team ran to the rescue. So appreciate my technical squad and here at home. And let me just I'm trying to get through many more and keep you guys engaged, but not just ramble on and on. Yeah, Josie has a comment about, I think, Josie, I think I've seen you have multiple comments, if I'm right, but let me just put this one out there. The goal for your bank account is not to find out how much money you have at the end. You want to know how much money you have during the time. So, as an example, in an academic bank account, if I go on day one and there's zero in the account, I think I've got nothing to look forward to. But then I come on day 30, and all of a sudden I find out that I've got 30 in the account. Well, I could have done something about that all along the way, but on day one, it was nothing. And on day 30, it's an actual 30 in the account. So the goal our teachers have is to keep feedback. Our progress monitoring our grades. That's how we kept feedback up. We're going to address it in a very different way right now, so that you heard from another Facebooker who was sharing that her man's been on the phone. It's about providing the feedback ongoing, so we can progress monitor what mastery for the content looks like, so that we can ensure that that student's ready to progress. Yep, Google Classroom. I will tell you, you can get it from any device. Let me get myself right. Any device. You can get it anywhere, anytime. If you have a kid in there right now who's gaming, you can tell them that's going to be my Google device right now. You can let them know it's coming. And they're going to look at you like, what? What are you talking about? That's going to be the Google device. As much time as you spend on that, you'll have some time spent in Google Classroom. So it can any device, anytime, anywhere, smart device that allows you to get access to the internet. You are plugged in. DZ administrators, you guys get a shout out, and kudos to you guys, and thank you for that, because you're recognizing some places where people in our community say, I don't know if that school does anything. They do a lot of things, and they're doing a great job. So kudos to those schools that you are shouting out, because they're doing an incredible job, and thank you for recognizing them. All right. Yep. So what you're going to do is Bradley sharing, hey, I had a nurse call me with a block number and I almost didn't answer. Because I'll tell you, if you call me, if your number's not in my contact list, I may let it go to voicemail before you get a return call. Because I'm like, well, I'm wondering who this person is. And I'm tired of calls from Minnesota and New York and Atlanta about, we've got a home and a vacation home we'd like for you to buy. And all you have to do is call or enter this drawing. I don't need any of that. So I watch my phone as well. But Bradley's sharing that I had a nurse call me with a block number and I almost didn't answer. So I would tell you that teachers have a way to communicate with you so that they can reach out to you because they're calling from their personal devices. We set it up so that they can call, but their number is not showing up because I know what I would have done in high school if I knew my teacher's number. They'd be getting calls like at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning on test days to make them as tired as possible. So they may not come into work that day, or they come in tired saying, okay, well, I'm gonna give you another day before we move forward. So we worked it out so that there's some privacy built into it because I think it's important that, we respect that as well. And, teachers not, I was a very tough teacher. I mean, tough as nails. You're going to live it. And that's what it was. And so that is always not a pleasurable thing in the moment. Long term, kids appreciate it, but in the moment, kids are like, "Oh no, not me! I don't know who you are." So we've got to work through a lot of those things for our kiddos. Hey, shout out to my production team and my wife. Thank you for that. Incredible person, incredible person. 30 years together, amazing, amazing, amazing woman. And I appreciate all those support staff members. And we had one say something about her man earlier. All those support staff members who are helping and a part of this because the journey is not one that you uh, to take alone. It's great to have a support team that comes along with you on that. And shout out to all those support members who, when we educators come around, that's all we want to talk about. We don't talk about anything else, not the weather, not the grass. We want to talk about education. And so I know that can be burdensome in some conversations, but I would tell you, thank you for all the support members who are helping the leaders of the buildings around that conversation because it's nonstop. Teachers, through the weekend. Thank you guys who are supporting an educator in some form or fashion, either directly or indirectly. All right, I'm gonna go 3 more minutes or 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Yes, so we're gonna have to do some work. This is a question from Amber, and it's about seniors and legacy scholarship. So we have a great partnership with Midland College, and we'll have to bring that up. So thank you for bringing that point because that's a very good point. The legacy scholarship requires a GPA and service, community service, and completion of what that requirement is allows you to have free, free free tuition at Midland College. And so what we've got to do is we've got to step back and look at how do we modify or what modifications come up on that. I'm talking with universities right now where kids were needing to take the SAT or ACT and what modifications should they be making around that because either a student wanted a higher score or was going to take it for the very first time. And that might be a challenge in this day and age for what we're presented with right now. So kudos to you for that because I'll have a response and get some things up. So again, look for the class of 2020 link that will help take you to information. So Jeff Horner, if someone knows Jeff, plug in because that's going to be one for him to jump on. He's jumped on a number of things, which has been incredible and how he's taken that on. Got a shout out to the cafeteria workers. Keep my kids fed. I'm telling you, they're doing a great job. It was cold this morning too. So, thank you for those who came up and did it quickly because our cafeteria workers, it was a cold day and Monday's scheduled to rain. So I would tell you, almost like the postman, we're going to be delivering food, no matter the weather, we're going to be out there during this time frame to help make that happen. So, some patience through all that and a shout out when you see them in regards to what they're doing to stand fast through this whole thing. They are certainly on the front line. All right, just a few seconds. I'm gonna try to scroll faster and get through some things. I'm sorry, people who have said some things I can't get to, but if you see someone on there in a comment, please respond. I think it's important that we hear from each other around what that work looks like. Long-term subs, shout out for taking that on. Appreciate that. Parents, there's a shout out and a thank you. Russ, Bowie, you guys got it going on. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Bowie rocks. So thank you guys. All right. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Elise. It takes an entire community to make this piece happen. From those who, no matter what you look like, how big you are, what ethnicity, how much money, it takes a community to come together to make this work happen. Whether you've been on board with a learning device on day one and your kids have been thriving, it takes an entire community to make this piece happen. And I appreciate all those who did that. And like I said, I just went 20 seconds over what I committed to. My team will tell you I'm at the end. So again, if you need to get plugged into our website. It's updated nearly daily with new information. Like your academic bank account, check the website to see if you're getting plugged in. There are some things that I owe you on that website. It's coming. Know that I'm pushing my team to make it happen, to make it visually appealing, to put all the information and plug it in so that you know how to get to those resources so that you can deliver for your student. Because together we will make this happen. Remember, one town, one team. I want to thank everybody. This closes out the Friday. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.